Good morning, or evening, or afternoon, or whenever it is that you're watching this. I'm glad you tuned in. Thanks for watching. Today I want to look at what Paul had to say about proud people in the church of Corinth. You know, I believe that we romanticize the early church, and we think they had it really good with the apostles preaching to them and all that. But the early church had its share of problems because, people are the same back then as they are today, and the apostles had to deal with some pretty difficult issues. Our main scripture is from 1 Corinthians 4:7, where Paul writes, "For who makes you so superior? What do you have that you did not receive? If in fact you did receive it, why do you boast as if you had not received it?" From this verse, it's apparent that Paul is dealing with a pride issue in the Corinthian church. Paul addresses this issue with three questions. Three questions that we should be asking ourselves as well. Number one is, for who makes you so superior? You ever passed by a homeless person on the street and you thought to yourself, he or she must be pretty lazy. If they worked as hard as I do, they wouldn't be homeless. Or you drive by a rundown home and you say, they should take better care of their house like I take care of mine. Then it wouldn't look so bad. Or have you seen someone driving an old clunker and wondered, why don't they just buy a new car like I did? Remember the parable that Jesus told about the Pharisee and the tax collector in Luke 18:9 through 14? He also told this parable to some who trusted in themselves that they were righteous, and they looked down on everyone else. Two men went up to the temple to pray, one a Pharisee and the other a tax collector. The Pharisee was standing and praying like this about himself: God, I thank you that I'm not like other people, greedy, unrighteous, adulterers, or even like this tax collector. I fast twice a week. I give a tenth of everything I get. But the tax collector, standing far off, would not even raise his eyes to heaven, but kept striking his chest and saying, God, have mercy on me, a sinner. I tell you, this one went down to his house justified rather than the other, because everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, but the one who humbles himself will be exalted. We should never think of ourselves as superior to anyone, believer or unbeliever. The second question Paul asks is, what do you have that you did not receive? Everything we have, house, car, job, health, everything comes from God. So where is there a place for us to boast about what we have? Lots of people, even some Christians, think that they have nice stuff because of what they themselves have done. Americans respect and almost idolize the self-made man or woman, the person who works hard to get ahead and has lots of nice stuff. But everything we have comes from the hand of God, and so we have not earned it, but it has been given to us. That's the first part. The next question Paul poses brings in the second part. If in fact you did receive it, why do you boast as if you had not received it? The second part is that we, that is everyone, will be called to account for what God has given us. God is going to want to know what we did with the stuff he gave us. Of course, God already knows what we did, but we need to remember that if we use the stuff God gives us for selfish purposes, God will not be pleased. We should use the stuff that God gave us to bring honor and glory to him and to advance his kingdom, not to show off what we have as if it was due to something we have done. And this goes for everything, not just material possessions. If what we have spiritually comes from God, then why do we look down on other Christians because they are stuck in sin? We have no reason for self-glorying pride. We are called to help our brothers and sisters who are struggling with sin. These three questions should beg more questions for us, like these. Do I truly give God the credit for my salvation? Or do I think about all I have done to merit salvation? Do I live with a spirit of humble gratitude? Or am I living with a spirit of prideful ignorance? Seeing that everything I have comes from God, what am I willing to give back to Him? These questions from Paul should remind us that there is nothing good in us, save for that which God has instilled in us, that which we have received from God. Remember this caution from Proverbs 16:18. Pride comes before destruction, and an arrogant spirit before a fall. And also this from James 4:6. God resists the proud, but gives grace to the humble. So, if you don't want a fall and destruction, and if you'd like grace from God rather than resistance, stay humble. Until next time, may God richly bless you with His grace and mercy. Thank you for watching. Bye-bye.